Ever since the nationalist government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to power at the centre, JNU's ragtag team of Marxist, socialist, communist and anti-national elements has felt threatened. These raucous elements had maintained the status quo for a long time and covertly worked in the shadows to indoctrinate the students. However, after 2014, they crawled out of their highly subsidized hostel rooms and staff rooms, feeling threatened that the BJP government may break the ecosystem. The Tukde Tukde gang was the progeny of the JNU, and soon the country got to know the bogies that the university had spawned in its midst over decades of faulty supervision. However, all that is changing. JNU is finally becoming the educational institute it was destined to be. An institute that gave us the likes of Nirmala Sitharaman, S. Jaishankar and not Kanhaiya Kumar. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of TFI Media Group. I'm your host Tribhuvan, and if you haven't subscribed to TFI English channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video I will tell you how JNU has turned into a virtual impregnable fortress under Shantishree Pandit. Let's begin. According to the sources on the ground, entry to the JNU compounds has now been regulated. Earlier, anyone could barge into the university without minimal checks, and this led to a load of troubles. The new Vice Chancellor, Dr. Shantishree Dhulipudi Pandit, has clocked the changes to make the university feel more like a university rather than a transit terminal where anybody could come for a leisurely walk. Moreover, there are murmurs that Dr. Pandit may crack down on the dhaba culture of the university, which has been the breeding ground of JNU's toxic and highly volatile ideas. However, the biggest change ushered by the new administration is the introduction of entrance exams. Following the change in the Delhi University's admission system, JNU admission for 2022 would also be done through common universities entrance tests. The university has itself announced the big decision and has said that the entrance examination would be held as and when planned by the National Testing Agency. This one move completely dispenses with the old ecosystem that had made JNU a hub of leftist ideology. The faculty of an institute drives its reputation and thinking process. Domination of Marxist ideology thus helped the university become a center of leftist ideology. But this ideology would have won out had diverse students made it to the university in large numbers. However, in its initial years, JNU had a system of interviews for selecting students. The professors interviewed candidates and selected students. When the faculty itself professed and propagated leftist thought, it was only natural that they preferred leftist minds over others. The system was, however, criticized and opposed vehemently. So in early 1980s, the university decided to conduct written tests in different parts of the country, giving students in rural and backward areas to compete on equal footing with students coming from urban areas. However, subjective tests alone do not achieve objectivity in admissions. After all, it was the faculty that conducted and evaluated written tests. From the descriptive answers themselves, one can judge the mindset and ideology of the candidate, just like an editorial or an op-ed reveals the ideology of the author. Then the evaluator could filter the appearing candidates according to their ideology. Moreover, the curriculum is also being changed to make the students capable of differentiating from black and white. As reported by TFI, upon the approval of the Academic Council, the university last year introduced an elective course on counter-terrorism for engineering students pursuing a dual degree program. The course states that jihadi terrorism is the only form of fundamentalist religious terrorism and that they have been historically supported by countries with a communist background such as China and the Soviet Union. Despite the opposition from parties like CPI and TMC, the university remained resolute in introducing the elective courses. Earlier this month, the Ministry of Education appointed Dr. Shantishree Dhulipudi Pandit as the Vice Chancellor of the university, replacing M. Jagdish Kumar. After Pandit's appointment was made public, tweets from an unverified account with her name started floating on the internet. The netizens began trolling her for the same. The Twitter handle was deleted after the incident. The backlash Dr. Pandit faced could be linked to her nationalist values for which she stands unapologetically. She had been a vocal critic of how India's history has been painted. In a webinar organized by the Political Science Department of Sri Venkateshwar College, Pandit criticized the incorrect narrative of Indian history that has been taught to the Indians for decades. She claimed that the NCERT textbooks have been teaching a painted image of not only the Mughals but also the Nehru-Gandhi dynasty. She also ventured to openly criticize the whitewashing of the history of Islamic invasion on India. She did not dodge from speaking about how the sacrifices made by the Indian revolutionaries have been obliterated to build a narrative that the Indian national movement was a peaceful, non-violent movement. The last decade has been a blot on the image of JNU. It has made headlines for spearheading issues on separatism, sexism, and terrorism. The university only creates ideological soldiers who thought completing PhDs in African studies was the only way to contribute to the society. However, all that is now changing, and changing for good.